All right, so for today's question, we're going to be talking about concrete. So typically I get two questions regarding this, and that is what kind of concrete, and then as well as how much concrete per hole. Okay. So as far as the type of concrete, it honestly doesn't matter for most of the holes or posts. The only one I would say is for the gate post, the one that's going to be holding the weight of the gate. For those, I suggest the quick setting concrete. Typically at Lowe's and Home Depot, it comes in a red bag, and at our fence company, we just call it the red bag. The reason for that is if you're trying to basically put your entire fence up in one day and basically hang the gate the same day, you want concrete that sets up a lot quicker than the typical concrete. Regular concrete, you want to wait about 24 hours, whereas the quick setting, typically after an hour or two, you're good to go, especially because the aluminum gates aren't super heavy, so it'll hold the weight pretty quickly. But you still want to use the red bag for that. Now, how much concrete per hole? Honestly, it's about, I never really measured. I'd say it's somewhere around 30 to 40 pounds per hole. Okay. The way to determine this is basically you're going to dig your hole with your post hole diggers, and then you're going to put in your aluminum post. And then after that, you're going to fill about 1/3 of the hole with concrete. You're going to pack that down with your digging bar, do another third, pack that down, another third, pack that down. And then once you're done, what you should have is concrete from the top, from the bottom all the way up to the top, except for the last 3 to 4 inches. The last 3 to 4 inches, you just want to use dirt and compact that. The reason for that is, you have a nice new fence, and, obviously the grass is going to grow back, at some point. And you just don't basically want concrete sticking out, so it just doesn't look nice. So that's why we do it that way. Now for the gate post with the red bags, typically what you're going to be doing with that is, if you look on the instructions, they basically say put the concrete in a hole and then add your water after that. Me personally, and it shows it in the video, but I like to add water in to the bottom of the hole first, add my concrete, pack that down, add some more water. It's basically the same process as the other holes, except for you're using water in between. So it's basically you put some water, concrete, pack it. Some water, concrete, pack it. And that's the way I do it, just so that way I want to make sure that the water is mixed thoroughly within the concrete. The other way you can do it is basically get a wheelbarrow or a bucket or something like that and add the water, and then mix the concrete in and then pour it in a hole. I just don't think it's necessary personally. So that's what you do. And then this question I got the other day as well is, at Home Depot and Lowe's, the concrete comes in several different size bags. You typically can get it in 50, 60, and 80 pound bags. Now, which one should you use? Honestly, if you're not doing this day in and day out, I would go with the 50 pound bags or the 60 pound bags. The reason for that is even though they're slightly more expensive, it's probably only going to add about, I don't know, $40, $50 to the cost of your projects by going with the smaller bags. But it's just a lot easier to manage when you have these smaller bags. 80 pounds is quite a bit of weight if you're not used to this kind of work. Now, for transporting, I would definitely use a wheelbarrow if you have a decent amount of distance to go from point A to point B, basically from your driveway to wherever the fence is going to be. Wheelbarrow just makes it a lot easier. You can throw in 3, 4, 5, 6 bags at a time, and it's easy to roll. Okay. Now, another question I got was, do I need a truck? So the answer for that is no. When it comes to getting your concrete, that's the biggest purchase that you're going to make for this whole project that you have to actually get yourself. Now for that, Home Depot and Lowe's, they both offer to deliver it for you. I believe Lowe's is like $65 and Home Depot might be $75. But at the end of the day, it's everything's time is money, for me. So yes, you could save some money if you want to borrow a truck and pick it up and everything else. You can definitely save some money that way if you don't have a truck. But the time it takes to borrow the truck, then go get the concrete, then bring the truck back and everything else, well, you're going to spend an extra few hours for no reason. It's just easier to pay Home Depot or Lowe's $75 or $50 or whatever happens to be and have them deliver it for you. That's my personal opinion. Plus, then you can also order your post hole digger, your digging bar, and whatever else that you want to order, and they just drop everything off for you. For that though, you definitely do want to call ahead, depending on when you're watching this video. Like right now it's May 2nd, 2021. And because of the pandemic, there's just been a lot of shortages and everything else. And one of the things that did suffer is the delivery. I used to be able to get stuff in like 3 days, and then it's getting better now, but there were some points where it was taking 2 and 3 weeks for the stuff to come in. So just make sure you get that ahead of time. You could always leave the concrete outside. Just make sure you wrap it with a tarp or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I would be glad to answer them for you. Thanks.